Welcome to my channel StarWire Daily. Please share and subscribe and press the bell icon for new updates. Picture this. Two legends sitting across from each other, their eyes glistening with unshed tears. The air thick with 20 years of unspoken truths. Roger Federer, the Swiss maestro who gave us poetry in motion, finally breaking his silence about the man who defined his greatest battles and his most profound friendship. What Roger revealed about Rafael Nadal's retirement will completely change how you see their legendary rivalry. Because behind those epic 5-set matches, behind the countless standing ovations, there is a story so beautiful, so heartbreaking, that even Federer himself couldn't speak about it. Until now. Welcome back to StarWire Daily, where we dive deep into the stories that matter. I'm your host, and today we're uncovering the emotional truth that Roger Federer kept locked away for 2 decades. A truth about sacrifice, about friendship, and about the price of greatness that will leave you seeing Rafael Nadal in a completely different light. You know, we've all watched their matches. Wimbledon 2008, Australian Open 2017. The drama, the intensity, the sheer athletic brilliance that made grown men cry and champions bow in respect. But what if I told you that behind every single one of those battles was a conversation? A promise? A bond so deep that it transcended sport itself? Let me take you back to 2004. A young Rafael Nadal, just 19, steps onto the clay courts of Roland Garros for the first time. His hair wild, his sleeves cut off, his determination fierce enough to move mountains. And watching him from across the net, a 22-year-old Roger Federer, already being whispered about as the next great champion. But here's what nobody knew. Here's what Roger finally admitted in that tearful interview last month. He knew. From that very first match, Roger Federer knew that this wild-haired teenager from Mallorca wasn't just another player. He was looking at his destiny, his greatest opponent, his most cherished rival. The first time I played Rafa, Federer revealed, his voice barely above a whisper, I went back to my hotel room and I called my wife. I told her, I just played against someone who's going to change my life forever. I didn't know how right I was. You see, what made their rivalry so special wasn't just the tennis. It was the respect, the way they pushed each other to heights neither could have reached alone. But it came at a cost that Roger is only now ready to talk about. For 20 years, Rafael Nadal played through pain that would have ended most careers before they started. His feet constantly swollen and bloodied. His knees screaming with every step. His hands cramping from the sheer force of his topspin forehand. And Roger? Roger watched it all. Match after match, tournament after tournament. He witnessed his greatest friend slowly breaking himself apart. People see the warrior, Federer said, his eyes distant with memory. They see the intensity, the never-give-up attitude. But I saw the man behind the warrior. I saw him limping off courts, getting injections just to walk normally. I saw him missing family dinners because he was getting treatment. And I knew that every time we played, I was asking him to sacrifice a piece of himself. The turning point came at Wimbledon 2019, their last great battle. 2-1 down, Federer had championship points. The crowd on their feet, history within reach. And in that moment, as Nadal prepared to serve, Roger caught his eye. Just for a second. And what he saw there wasn't the fire of competition. It was something else entirely. I saw exhaustion, Roger admitted. Not physical exhaustion. Emotional exhaustion. The weight of carrying everyone's expectations, of being Rafael Nadal, of never being allowed to be just Rafa. In that moment, I realized that winning that match would have been selfish. Because I knew what it was costing him to be there. You want to know the real reason Rafael Nadal retired? It wasn't the injuries, though they played a part. It wasn't age, though Father Time remains undefeated. It was because Roger Federer, his greatest rival and dearest friend, gave him permission to stop. After that Wimbledon final, they sat in the locker room together. Just 2 champions, alone with their thoughts. And Roger did something that shocked even himself. He apologized. I apologized for making him feel like he had to keep going, Federer revealed. For 20 years, our rivalry had been this beautiful dance, but I realized I had been dancing with someone who was slowly disappearing. The Rafa I knew and loved was getting lost in the legend of Rafael Nadal. What happened next will restore your faith in friendship. Roger didn't just give Rafa permission to retire. He gave him something more precious. He gave him a new purpose. Behind the scenes, away from the cameras and the crowds, Roger and Rafael began planning something extraordinary. A tennis academy unlike any other. Not just for teaching technique or strategy, but for teaching young players how to love the game without losing themselves in it. We're going to show them, Roger said, his voice strong with conviction, that you can be competitive without being destructive, that you can chase greatness without sacrificing your humanity. The academy opens next year in Switzerland, co-founded by Roger Federer and Rafael Nadal. Two legends, passing on not just their knowledge, but their wisdom, their understanding that sport, at its highest level, is about connection, about bringing out the best in each other, not just on the court, but in life. But here's the beautiful part, the part that had Roger choking up as he told his story. Rafael isn't retiring from tennis. He's graduating from it. People think retirement means the end, Roger explained. But for Rafa, it's the beginning. He's finally free to be the teacher he always was, the mentor he dreamed of becoming. And I get to watch him inspire the next generation the same way he inspired me. And it goes deeper than that. So much deeper. Roger revealed that throughout their careers, they had a pact, a secret agreement that nobody knew about. After every match they played against each other, win or lose, they would write each other a letter. Not for the public, not for history, just for them. 20 years of letters. 20 years of honest thoughts, fears, dreams, and gratitude. Letters where Rafael could admit his doubts, where Roger could confess his insecurities. Letters that kept them human in a world that wanted to make them gods. I have boxes of them, Roger said with a smile that lit up his entire face. Boxes of Rafa's letters. Some in Spanish, some in English, some just drawings when words weren't enough. They're the most precious things I own, more valuable than any trophy. The last letter? It wasn't written after a match. It was written after Rafael's retirement announcement. And in it, according to Roger, was just 3 words. 3 words in Spanish that sum up their entire relationship. Gracias, mi hermano. Thank you, my brother. You know what breaks my heart about this story? It's not that Rafael retired. Champions retire. Legends fade. That's the natural order of things. What breaks my heart is that it took 20 years for us to really see what they were giving each other and what they were giving us. Every time they stepped on court together, they weren't just playing tennis. They were showing us what it means to elevate each other, to compete with everything you have while still loving your opponent, to understand that your greatest rival can also be your greatest gift. Roger's final words in that interview will stay with me forever. He looked directly into the camera, tears flowing freely now, and he said this: Rafa didn't just make me a better tennis player. He made me a better man, a better husband, a better father. He taught me that strength isn't about never falling down. It's about getting back up every single time with grace and dignity intact. And if I never win another match, if I never hold another trophy, I will consider myself the luckiest man in the world because I got to share 20 years with the greatest competitor who ever lived. And there it is, the heartbreaking truth about Rafael Nadal's retirement. It wasn't an ending. It was a transformation, from warrior to teacher, from competitor to collaborator, from rival to brother. Sometimes the most beautiful stories aren't about winning or losing. They're about finding someone who makes you better than you ever thought you could be, and then having the wisdom to know when it's time to start a new chapter together. What do you think? Does this change how you see their rivalry? Are you excited about their academy? And more importantly, who in your life pushes you to be better? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because I love hearing from you. If this story moved you the way it moved me, smash that like button. It really helps us bring you more incredible stories like this one. And hey, if you're not already part of our StarWire family, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell because we've got so many more amazing stories coming your way. Until next time, keep chasing greatness But never forget to stay human along the way. This is StarWire Daily, and I'll see you in the next one.